Hello again. So major updates regarding coronavirus, COVID-19. We are in lockdown. It's not as stringent as some other countries, but we are in lockdown. And it was announced last night by the Prime Minister. We actually suspected it was coming because he's been doing his daily statements, and they say between 4 and 6, I think. Pretty much they've basically been at 5 o'clock every day. And we stream it through YouTube. So yesterday I found the video and it said live and it said waiting to stream at 5. And so I was watching something else and then the video disappeared and I was like, it's gone, and I couldn't find it again. And then an hour or so later we found it again and it said waiting, streaming live at 7:30, I think. Or 7 maybe. And it basically just kept getting delayed. And what we were watching at the time was this process of this bill getting passed, and lots of people were talking about various aspects of it. And it was all in regards to them sort of enforcing stricter regulations, which is obviously taking away people's liberties. And this thing was going on and on and on. So we had planned, we went out for a walk with a couple of friends, and we were talking about it, and when we got back we all sort of said, you know what, this could be it. It keeps getting delayed. We saw that the video was then due at 8:30. And so I didn't actually think it was literally going to be imposed there and then, but it was very apparent that, yep, this is the direction we are going in. And obviously in my last video we kind of expected this to happen. I think Boris Johnson has been giving people the chance to listen to him. He's advised things and then he's had to take strict measures. So he advised social distancing and then he had to shut pubs. And I don't think he wanted to take away people's freedoms. I don't think he's wanted to enforce anything. I think he's been trialing it, seeing how people respond, and then as things are just continuing to amp up, and more cases are coming through and the NHS is struggling more and more, he's then had to enforce these things. So obviously we did go out on Saturday. Lots of people went out on Saturday. We stayed far away from anybody. We were in the car majority of the time, and even when we were skating, as you can see from the photos, we were a long way from anybody else. Now, there was uproar over the weekend because it was Mother's Day on Sunday, and basically, obviously pubs and whatnot were shut, so people couldn't go to pubs and restaurants, but country parks and the beach were flooded with people, and there was photos everywhere just showing quite how busy it was, and people were saying that these areas had been just as busy as they are on bank holidays. So when that happened, Dan and I were even more sure that a more strictly enforced lockdown would be announced, because people aren't listening. Lots of people are, but there's still a large amount of people that aren't. So there was that. We knew it was coming. To be honest, I thought it'd probably be the end of the week, maybe the beginning of next week. I didn't think it would be quite this soon. And it was the most surreal thing. 8:30 hit and we sat on the sofa together, and instead of being in like a press conference, it was Boris Johnson just sat behind a desk talking at the camera. There's no questions, there were no other people. And as soon as the video started and it was different in that way, I just looked at Dan and I was like, this is it. And he nodded. We just knew it. We just knew it. You could feel it, you could sense it. He did a little introduction before he actually said, you know, this is happening. But you could tell he was kind of expressing how things were amping up. and the NHS is struggling and we want to do our utmost to support them and all of this, and you could just tell where he was going. So, oh, let me just get my phone. What has been said is that you can leave home only for shopping for basic necessities, any medical need or care for a vulnerable person, and travelling to and from work only if absolutely necessary, which obviously I am one of those people. I'm an essential worker, I'm a key worker, so that included me. The other thing, now this is where it's not as stringent as other places. He is permitting everyone to leave the house once a day to take some form of exercise, be it a walk, a run, a cycle, and you're not meant to gather in groups of people outside. You are meant to be no more than 2 people. However, you can go out with people from your household. So I guess like families, mum, dad and little kid, that you can go out. So he really, whilst he has put into place this lockdown, you can tell he's really trying to do, well, I think he's trying to do the best thing for the people. And I'm so relieved that we're allowed to leave the house for a walk. Me and Dan are going to do that shortly. We're going to do that every day, especially as the weather's so nice, and it just kind of clears your mind a little bit. And Dan, bless him, like, he's working from home. He needs to get out, but he needs that fresh air, he needs that leg stretch. You can't, well, obviously other people are cooped up in their houses for weeks on end, but it's lovely that we are not right now. So yeah, obviously I was off to work today, which I didn't really know how I was feeling about that, and it was fine. It was absolutely fine. Very surreal, because obviously the working environment, working in a school, it was very different to normal, but it was fine, and actually felt really blessed, because at lunchtime the sun was shining and it was actually warm. I took off my hoodie outside, the sun was really warm, and I was obviously allowed to be out in the school field. And so I just felt really fortunate that actually I've still got that freedom there to be outside. And also, while it's a tricky thing continuing to go off and out to work, it kind of feels like, I know there's lots of people doing it, but it feels like the world is at home, especially with social media. It really feels like everybody else is at home, which is not the case, but it's challenging to see all these people at home, quarantine, isolation, homeschool life, blah 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 blah, and I'm out every day. However, some people would say it is riskier. Well, it is riskier. Obviously, it's our school, and I'm sure other schools are taking extreme measures to ensure the safety of staff and children. So actually, I think I'm extremely fortunate to be able to get up and go out to work like normal and keep that sense of normality in life, because I came yesterday, being inside all day apart from our walk, it felt very much like, oh gosh, we're isolating, we can't see anybody, oh my goodness, this is crazy. It felt so surreal. But today I kind of felt normal, which is nice. So yeah, there's that. Oh, one other thing that the government have done, they're sending a mass text message around. I'm yet to receive it, but someone I work with received theirs, and Dan has received his, and I think he screenshot it to me. I think it's just a link. Yeah. So it's just a text message that says, gov.uk, alert coronavirus, new rules in force now, you must stay at home, more info and exemptions at the website, stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives. And that in itself is kind of strange, like this mass text going around to every single person in the UK. But yeah, I'm yet to receive mine, but it'll come, it'll come. We haven't heard Boris Johnson do his speech today. I don't think we've missed it. but it'll be interesting to see what he says. There's not really, before we were every day on the edge of our seat wanting to listen to him and see what he had to say, but now that we're kind of in lockdown, it's like, well, what else is there going to be? This is like the height of abnormal life that we can expect. They are using police enforcement, they're allowed to, as part of the bill. However, I don't think people are getting pulled over, so we don't need, like Italy and stuff, you need a certificate to leave your house, to say that you're going shopping or say that you're an essential worker. We don't have any of that. So whilst this is lockdown, it does seem like he's trying to keep it as free and relaxed as possible. But I guess time will tell. Does the curve start coming back down again for the virus? Are people seen to be listening? Because if people were still seen out in massive groups and the police are having to intervene, or there's loads of people on the road in their cars, then they're probably going to step in again. But as it stands, it's probably the most relaxed lockdown you could possibly imagine. Saying that, I'm not taking away from the importance of staying at home. You have to stay at home, you have to abide by the rules. But being let out once a day is lovely.